Live from the 301, live from the pot. I want to welcome our audience to episode number 233 of Curry in the Pot. I'm your host, somebody got Mike Curry, and I'm back with another episode, man. You missed last episode, man. I was gonna say last week. That wasn't last week, but you missed episode number 232, man. It was an NBA Finals preview. Obviously the finals have concluded. I had Thunder in six, Bink had Thunder in five, but nevertheless, we picked the right team, just the wrong outcome. But we're here to discuss and unpack everything that took place in Game Seven, and just talk about each team's playoff run, man, because it was a hell of a year, hell of a season, hell of a playoffs, and NBA season is finally over. We got a ton to talk about, man. So I'm not gonna waste your guys' time, man. But of course, gotta introduce my guy Bink, man. Bink was good, bro.
What's up, man? Can't even say thank you for having me now. I'm the co-host now, but I'm just excited to be here. We got like you said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm just excited to get into it.
Hell yeah, man. I came ready today. Y'all know, if you know me, or even if you don't know me, I'm not a script guy. I'm not a script guy at all. Usually, I know what I want to talk about and I just sit down and talk about it. But I was just sitting at my desk at work and I'm like, man, there's so many different things I can talk about. Like there's topics and there's subtopics that we can discuss. So let's get right into it, man. The Thunder are the 2025 NBA champions. This team was one of the best regular season teams of all time statistically, and they capped it off, and they are now NBA champions. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Finals MVP, regular season MVP. He is now the 11th player to do so. Told you, Bing, I did my knowledge. Um, but we got a lot of dudes that did that. Willis Reed, Shaq, Michael Jordan
Last
did it.
player, LeBron.
LeBron did it twice. Um, who was the most recent? Like the
LeBron,
most recent was LeBron. So that was back in the last year he did it
2013.
was 2013. Yep, I got it right here. Willis Reed, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq, Tim Duncan, and LeBron James. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander now joins that list. Should have been Jokic on that list too. Cough, cough. But Embiid got the sympathy MVP that year. But neither here or there. But congratulations to the Thunder, man. A lot of guys got it out the mud. Even head coach Mark Darganoff got it out the mud in the G League. Shea, obviously I just said Shea, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, who had a 40 piece in this finals. You got key contributors like Alex Caruso, who's now a two-time champion. Isaiah Hartenstein, now a champion. Guys
Dort,
like Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, um, the other Jalen Williams,
Isaiah Joe,
Isaiah Joe, just a lot of guys, man. Shout out to this Thunder team, man.
Cameron Williams played minutes.
Henrich Williams did play minutes. Shout out to him. Um, just shout out to this team. I'm not a big fan of their players. Like I think they're a good team. I'm just not a big fan of their individual players. But I don't have to be, man. They got a championship, man. But what are your thoughts about the Thunder winning the championship? Obviously, Game Seven was last night. What are your thoughts, man? I know you kind of predicted this. I mean, you I think you had Thunder Celtics, uh,
hmm
like way back in like the beginning of 2025.
Sure, I had Thunder and Celtics last year as well.
Yeah, you did. So just talk to me. I mean, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say you're not wrong, you're just early, but just talk to me about this.
I mean, I'm not wrong. I'm just early, but this is not like I don't want to say. I feel like this was the expected outcome though,
I was gonna say this wasn't hard to see.
and not only is this the expected outcome, but their defense was as good as advertised. I mean, when you talk about the Thunder's playoff run, they went up against the number four team in offensive rating this season, being the Denver Nuggets, the number six being the Memphis Grizzlies, and the number nine being the Indiana Pacers. Timberwolves were eight as well. So they played. There's a bug in my face. Oh my God. They played four top 10 offenses in basketball. And even when the offense wasn't there, because you see multiple spurts where the offense isn't there. I mean, you can see when their role players get the ball, like Lou Dort or Case and Wallace, if it's not an open shot, it might be a little bit of craziness going on at the top of the key with them, and it's not in Shea or J-Dub's hands. But the defense was as good as advertised. They forced a lot, and I mean a lot of turnovers. That third quarter was a hard watch. If it wasn't a TJ McConnell bucket, they forced 11 turnovers in the third quarter of Game 7 last night. Um, they just have. I haven't seen a guard other than Luca go up against the Thunder defense in the last 2 years, and I came away saying, "Oh yeah, he had a good series against them. Like Halliburton's series was all right, but it wasn't even good enough for Halliburton standards that he set this playoff run alone.
Yeah.
So I've the Thunder's defense was as good as advertised. I mean, they almost won 70 games during the regular season. Um, but I'm saying it was easy to see, but people in my comments on TikTok didn't say it was easy to see. Somebody told me OKC is too
What were
reliant
they
on bait and foul calls. When things don't go their way, this type of play won't translate to the playoffs and result in them ultimately losing. Even though they might say that, but in the regular season, OKC was bottom 10 in free throw attempts per game. So it's just like I get where they're coming
saying?
from because Shea shoots a lot of free throws, but Shea even said you haven't been watching me for a while because in his first couple years in OKC, he was shooting more free throws than he is now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's interesting, man. That's interesting. But I want to talk about because maybe almost 10 years ago, there was a lot of conversation about parity.
Hmm.
And I felt like this particular finals, obviously, we have seven different champions, and I'm going to get to that, but over the last 7 years. But when we talk about parity and we talk about small markets, this was great, man. I felt like I was in a barbershop last weekend before last, and we were talking about how this finals is for the real basketball fans. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people dubbed it and I'm not watching it. No LeBron, no Steph. People stuff like that was being said. No Celtics, stuff like that was being said. But you had two small markets. You got a team in the Thunder who are constructed like a rebuild in 2K. Um, and then you got the Pacers who had this fantastic playoff run, man. I thought it was great. It went longer than both of us expected because you had
Hmm.
Thunder in 5, I had Thunder in 6. But I thought it was a hell of a finals, man. What you think overall? Just
It
overall.
was a great chess match between Dayton and Rick Carlisle. Ultimately, Dayton won, and I don't want to attribute the full loss of Rick Carlisle because there's a multitude of things of why they lost Game 7. But the stretch in the third quarter, where like I said, it was 11 turnovers and only CJ McConnell scoring. I just didn't understand why they ran a full bench lineup in Game 7 of the finals. That was a little ridiculous. But
Yeah, teams don't usually go deep. Like I remember, I'm going to cut you off, but I remember when the Cavs and the Warriors played in 2016. I remember that, and like I think they might have played seven players max.
I'm
And I
not saying
think the
Celtics.
seventh, I think the seventh player didn't play like 20 minutes.
The Celtics in last NBA Finals ran 7 deep. Peyton Pritchard literally only came in to shoot half court shots.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just Hauser and Porzingis or Horford, whoever was coming off the bench. Like that's literally all the Celtics ran. So I understand like the Pacers' strength was in their numbers. That's how they got to the NBA Finals. But when you get there, Tony Bradley shouldn't have been playing as many minutes as he did. And then when he didn't work, instead of going back to Pascal Siakam or even running small, having Obi Toppin play the 5 and throwing in like Andrew Nembhard to play with those guys, they threw in Thomas Bryant, who had a good conference finals like little game against the Knicks. I don't know if you remember that where he had like three
Of
straight
course I
threes or
do.
whatever. But he shouldn't be playing in the NBA Finals respectfully.
I had to go back to this since I just said it. But the Cavs and the Warriors in that series, in the game seven, the Cavs only played eight players, and the eighth player, who was Mo Williams, played 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You had LeBron play 46 minutes, Kyrie played 43 minutes. I thought, Pascal Siakam's second best player on that team. He should be playing. I don't know how many minutes he played last night.
I don't know how many misses was last night either, but
I
it
want
felt
to see. I'm
it
about to go,
didn't fit. It
but I
didn't
felt
seem
like
like it
he
was
should have
enough.
played at least 40 minutes if he did not.
He
Um,
did not play 40. He couldn't have.
let me go look.
I felt like he sat out 8 minutes alone in the third quarter.
Exactly. So, so let's see. Let me see. I'm pulling up right now. 37 minutes. I thought you should play at least 40.
Which is
Like
crazy. I don't even feel like he played that many minutes. I genuinely don't feel like he played that many minutes,
played
but
37, man. So I mean, maybe the 8 minutes he needed, but I get your point. I totally get it, man. But we'd be truly remiss if we moved on from this and we didn't discuss the Tyrese Haliburton Achilles injury, which was absolutely brutal.
sucks. He
Definitely.
was he was having not gonna say he would have had the game of his life, but it was going towards that trajectory if you watch the first couple minutes of the game. I mean, three threes in the first 7 minutes. He still led the team and made threes by the end of the game. It was going on to that trajectory to be one of the well, one of the better game sevens that we've seen, not even just in finals history, but of at least my lifetime. That's what it was looking like, at least.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, led his team in the made threes, and it sucks, bro. It sucks because obviously, I thought he had a good playoff run, not great, but I thought his clutch moments were great.
Hmm.
And I felt like we were robbed at least of seeing a glimpse of that. Like I felt like you said, we were talking the fall earlier. The Pacers were up by one going into halftime, but
You still never felt
yeah, you never felt
like
watching that game. You didn't think the Thunder were going to lose that game.
because the Thunder they didn't show up in the first half at all. They were just struggling from every. I mean, they were struggling from the field a lot. I mean, credit to the Pacers defense. I mean, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, even though he fouled out of three different games, he was defending like I don't know what. Um, Even Siakam stepped up to play some defense. Benedict Mathurin was playing a lot of defense in this series. Yeah, Benedict Mathurin, he's an interesting case, man. So, there's a lot of tweets about Benedict Mathurin last night. Somebody said if it wasn't for his hustle, he would be in the G League right now. People were saying a lot of things about Benedict Mathurin, but
You say
he at the end of the day, he was showing the effort defensively. I will say that.
for sure. So I'm obviously Halliburton's injury is very devastating, but we're starting to witness a pattern. So I have to
Hmm.
discuss this because I thought about it when I was on my way to work. I'm like, dang, calf strain Achilles. This is a pattern, and it's been a historical pattern, but we even saw it this playoffs.
I'm gonna say because
Two other players.
well, Dame didn't have a calf strain; he
Well,
had blood clots in his calf.
yeah,
But
but
yeah.
Tatum did have a calf injury,
Hmm.
and it led me to look this up because I wanted to know. Do calf strains lead to I wanted to know the facts, but I wanted to know like the real nuances behind it. So I looked it up and it says calf strains can increase the risk of an Achilles tendon tear, especially if not properly treated. Here's why. The calf muscles are directly connected to the Achilles tendon. If those muscles are strained, they can create abnormal tension or compensation patterns in the tendon. Incomplete healing or returning to activity too soon after a calf strain can weaken the overall calf Achilles complex. Chronic calf tightness or weakness from a strain can cause excessive load to be transferred to the Achilles tendon, raising the chance of a rupture over time. People with recurrent calf strains or persistent tightness are more prone to Achilles tendon injuries. Key risk factors: not properly rehabbing a calf strain, weakness or tightness in the calf muscles, sudden increase in activity level, aging as tendons lose elasticity over time. So basically, after what I just said, you have to rest the calf for an extended period of time. Halliburton injured his calf in game 5. He was probably supposed to sit out a month. But it's the NBA Finals, so I understand it. And he would say himself, if he had to do it all over again, he would have played in that game.
It
But
would have just been so epic if that's a crazy word to use, but it would have been so epic if the Pacers won this game and just seeing Halliburton because he would have been out on that court, even if it was on a wheelchair or on crutches. That would have been so just fire to see. I wanted to see
it would
that
have
bad.
been. But I brought this up because obviously we saw Tatum go down with the Achilles this year. We saw Kevin Durant go down with the Achilles in 2019. Kobe Bryant was dealing with various issues when he went down with his Achilles in 2013. Even Aaron Rodgers was dealing with a calf injury before his ultimately popped in week 1. And Kirk Cousins was also dealing with the calf injury as well. So
Hmm.
this is a pattern, and I think we might start to see players who have a calf strain may sit out extended periods of
On
time.
football, you gonna have a capture, and they're gonna immediately put you on IR now.
Yeah, like I understand it just due to the science and just due to the constant examples that we've been seeing. We've been seeing a lot of recent examples, and I just for myself, I wanted to get educated on it, and of course, I wanted to educate the audience. The severity and what can happen with the calf injury, and ultimately, you know, you look at a player like Tyrese Haliburton, and you look at a team like the Indiana Pacers, the fastest paced team in the league. So not only is he playing, on a bad calf or, a hindered calf, but they're playing at a ridiculously fast pace. And he's a point guard, so he's playing. He's
Even the Thunder play at a fast pace.
huh?
Even the Thunder played a fast pace too, even
Yeah,
just defensively. Because somebody said watching this game, I don't. It wasn't even game 7. It was like game 5 or something like that. It said watching this game feels like you're watching it at 1.5 times speed on YouTube.
that's a fact. That's a fact. So it's definitely tough to see. Definitely, sad to see, man. Prayers up to Tyrese Haliburton, man, because he had an epic playoff run from a clutch standpoint. And shout out to the Pacers who had a hell of a season. Um, just a couple of podcasts ago, I was talking bad about them. I didn't say they were horrible like they sucked. I just said their ceiling was such and such. And obviously they surpassed that, due to some circumstances. Obviously the Celtics lost to the Knicks and Jason Tatum got hurt and they beat the Knicks. Um
The Celtics is probably going to lose to the Knicks regardless of Tatum getting
for
hurt. I think
sure.
I came to that conclusion as a Celtics fan.
For
You would
sure.
have been down 3-1.
I
Like
didn't
yes,
I
there
didn't
was
think they were
areas
gonna
to
get past the
exploit.
Cavs, to be honest with you. But
I
epic.
was telling you before the playoffs, I wanted to pick them to get past the Cavs, but I just didn't have the guts to do it, and I should have just did it.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate the Pacers on their playoff run because, it made for some great moments. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, your typical what you would see or what might have happened. Everybody's rooting for the Knicks, and that's cool. But I was rooting for the Pacers because I said on this very show that watching the Pacers, it's like watching that Cinderella team in the NCAA tournament, and they just keep advancing and they just keep advancing and they keep advancing. And ultimately, they lose in the championship or the Final Four, and that's just what it was. That's the
That
vibes that they gave, but they gave it their all. Rick Carlisle did an amazing job. Um,
that first three back in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse for Halliburton in probably 2026 it's going to be electric.
yeah, no, for sure, man. But let's move on. Before last night's game, we had a trade that happened during the day. It happened at Fanatics Fest too. That's when the news broke officially. Kevin Durant has been traded. How many times have I said that before? Kevin Durant has been traded to the Houston Rockets in exchange for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 2025 10th overall pick, and 5 future second round picks. Bink, I'm
Including
gonna
the
start
last
with
pick
you.
in this year's draft.
Yes, Bink, I'm gonna start with you. What's your thoughts on this trade? What was your reaction? We're gonna get into the ceiling and stuff for these teams, but just give me your initial thoughts on the trade.
I was at Rehoboth Beach in Delaware yesterday when the trade broke, and I literally just got out of the water. Literally, as soon as I got out of the water, I went to my phone. I picked it up because it kept buzzing. I was like, "What is going on?" And I see the Shams alert. I'm like, "Oh, Kevin Durant to the Rockets!" And immediately, I will say I made a TikTok, and I was kind of harsh on this trade for Houston. But the more and more I sit back and look at it, the more and more I actually like the trade for Houston. Just because you don't have to give up that much to get top 10 player in the league, which is Kevin Durant. You don't even give the Suns their picks back in 2027 or 2029. You still have a very appealing future with Amin Thompson, with Alperen Şengün, while having Kevin Durant and another veteran, Fred VanVleet, who you're going to bring back to win now. So I feel like they're trying to play the two timeline thing that Golden State tried to play a few years ago, but Golden State, their timeline players was Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody, so that just didn't work out. I think in this is better and stronger because you still have future assets. From the Suns standpoint, we already knew the package for Kevin Durant was going to suck for the Suns just because
They lost leverage.
yeah, they lost complete leverage.
Listed in
What
that's
were the Heat giving up? It said Jaime Jaquez,
Hayward.
Haywood Highsmith, Wiggins, but they wasn't even trying to include the 20th pick. Like that was just they wasn't including Khalil Ware. The Heat, they're another story for another day. But we knew the package was going to suck for the Suns. They still don't have their draft capital back. Like I said multiple times, they're going to try to stay competitive because they don't have their draft picks. It's no reason to tank.
And they still have Devin Booker on their
And they
roster.
still have Devin Booker. They're heavily interested in Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know what a Kristaps trade even looks like for the Suns, but yeah, they
All
get big.
right, so for me, um, I had liked it initially because when I seen it, I'm like, damn, they didn't give up Tari Eason? or Cam Whitmore. Like, I thought they would have at least been able to snag like a Cam Whitmore. You know what I'm saying? Because like he wasn't really in the rotation like that. But maybe Ime Udoka has something in store for him next season. But I was just like, dang, sons, I couldn't even get Cam Whitmore. Like I was that was my first thoughts. But you know, Kevin Durant gets to go to a team who was the second seed in the East and I mean the West. I'm sorry, and you just swap out Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and you get Kevin Durant. I think that's cool. Kevin Durant's not going to score 2 points in a game seven.
You know
Uh,
what was really interesting to me?
what's that?
The fact that Sham said the Spurs never made an official offer for him.
I thought that was interesting as well because this was a team that obviously he said he had interest going, and I feel like to not at least make an offer is kind of crazy.
They really, not saying I don't, but they really believe it's Stephon Castle. I think that's what this is showing me because I feel like a Giannis trade is not going to happen at this point. I feel like he's already had multiple meetings with the Bucks. He hasn't demanded a trade yet. Why would he demand one in the middle of the offseason? He already knows they have no money. So I don't know where like the Spurs are just going to draft the number two overall and hope Wemby stays healthy and they're going to say we're going to be better. I just don't know. I can't even say this because I guess we saw, but they have Siakam and Haliburton. I don't know what the ceiling of your team is with De'Aaron Fox as your second best player.
I guess you never know because I mean maybe I start talking about bad about the Spurs. Maybe they win the West.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll say their ceiling is such and such, and maybe they'll win the West.
But are the Spurs like next year? Obviously, I know the Spurs are playing the long game. They're not. They're probably not worried like as worried about next year as I am. But when you put them in the West, are they better than the Thunder? No. Are they better than Houston? No. Are they better than Minnesota? No. And I feel like that's like the top tier. I mean, I didn't even mention the Nuggets yet. I don't think they're better than the Lakers. So they're already at six at best. And I'm not even. I'm just naming teams off the top of my head. So they're at six at best. And are they even better than Dallas?
I'm honestly not sure if they're better than.
I think I would take Dallas. So
Honestly, not sure they're better than Golden State, bro.
yeah. So
I
it's
think
just
that's an
we'll
argument
see.
there.
We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
mean, you better. All I know is, I
Hopefully they trade for Trey Murphy or something.
maybe, hopefully they do a little something. I just don't know if all of this young bunch can carry you, but I mean, we'll see. I do hope that we see a full, season of Wemby. Um, obviously,
Oh, this has nothing to do with this. I'll go after you.
I bet, but yeah, I mean, we still don't know. I want to see Wemby. I want to see what Wemby and Fox look like for like half a season because we didn't really see it.
Hmm.
I just want to see it, man. I just want to see it. Obviously my mind can be changed, but I wanted to go back to the Rockets real quick. I like the trade for them. On the flip side for the Suns, I mean, I'm higher than Jalen Green on most. Sometimes you just need to change the scenery. I mean, he's a very young player, um, but I just don't think he impacts winning. And I think that's why the Rockets ended up making that deal because, Kevin Durant, two-time champion, one of the greatest players of all time, arguably the greatest scorer of all time. Obviously, that translates and impacts winning. And Ime Udoka, I know you're an Ime Udoka guy, man. He's a culture changer and all that good stuff. So, um, but I like Jalen Green getting a change of scenery, man. I do like it, man. I do like it for him. He's one of them guys, man. He needs to change the scenery, young player, and maybe his game will mature, and maybe change scenery will help. I definitely think situations definitely matter in
It's
sports,
just gonna be an interesting fit with him and Devin Booker in the same backcourt.
and
No,
still
Devin Booker's he's
prospect.
played some point guard in the past, but he's probably gonna have to transition to being a full-time one. I mean, it depends on what they do with the 10th overall pick. That's
Yeah,
truly what it depends on. But I was gonna say this earlier because somebody made this comparison. I forgot who it was. I want to get a person credit, but I forgot who it was. That Sam Presti kind of matured a little bit because they were saying it would have been easy after last year, seeing that Chet didn't play. You already made the second round, almost made the conference finals to end up pushing your chips in and trading Chet, kind of similarly to how they traded James Harden. And he didn't do that. He stuck true to his guns and he won a championship. I don't think it's quite one on one like apples to oranges, the same thing, but you could see the similarities there.
I don't think it's the same either, but I mean, that's neither here or there, bro. I want to move on to another topic that happened over the weekend that I didn't touch on. The Lakers officially sold. Cha-ching. Um, I gotta find out that I forgot the guy that they sold to. But I know he's a Dodgers owner. I just don't want to not mention his name and give him credit. Mark Walter um purchased the majority share of the Lakers. He is the majority owner of the Dodgers, so got money. Um, but it's an end of an era. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers were, obviously my favorite team. But this was a team purchased by Dr. Jerry Buss way back when, and he built this franchise on winning championships, getting star players to come to Los Angeles and obviously win. And obviously Dr. Buss passed, I want to say like 12 years ago. He passed away and the Lakers kind of fell off to an extent, before they got LeBron James, and obviously they won a championship in 2020. But I just wanted to mention, the end of an era. Lakers obviously historic franchises. In all the professional sports, your Lakers, your Yankees. I mentioned the teams I'm a fan of. Your Celtics, your Dodgers, your Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I was about to say you missing
Yeah,
the team.
be remiss if I didn't mention the Cowboys.
I wonder how much they would even sell for. I know Jerry's or Steven, even when Jerry passes away, knock on wood, that Steven, he's not gonna sell the team. But I just wonder how much the Cowboys are actually worth.
Maybe 15.
That's a lot of money to turn down, no.
Maybe 15, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
And they might be holding out for it to be worth 20 and then they're gonna sell.
And you never know, man. Never know. But end of an era for the Lakers. Jeannie Buss is gonna be the governor, so she's gonna be like, the face, if you will, but not really running the basketball decisions, which I love. Which I love. Because we're gonna spend. We're gonna spend. Luca, we're gonna get you whatever you want. You're gonna see all types of crazy stuff, man. Did you see the tweet where it said the Dodgers owner is gonna drop 100 million into mind the game pod?
I ain't see that.
LeBron to the minimum.
I ain't see that. Oh
Hey,
man.
bro.
You just gotta hope, especially with these new owners in the NBA recently, a lot of them get like new owner syndrome and they want to make a big move. You even see that with Matt
thing is,
Ishbia.
the thing is, the move already been made, bro.
That's what I was about to get to that. I was literally about to get to that. But you think about Matt Ishbia with Kevin Durant. I believe it was I forgot the two guys who owned the Timberwolves, but you saw that when they traded pushed all their chips in for Rudy Gobert and then traded Cat the following offseason. Like these new owners, that's the one thing that they do a lot is make that big move.
Nobody did it worse than Mikhail Prokhorov of the Nets.
Yep.
Nobody did it worse than him. He said, "Hey, bro, I need him." He said, "Give me Kevin Garnett, give me Paul Pierce, F all them picks." And what them picks turn into, man.
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown and Jason.
Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and the last pick was used to take Kyrie Irving, the trade for Kyrie Irving.
So, hey, man, they do be. Hey, it's a word I'm not gonna use on this show, but they be getting aroused.
Hey, you know what's funny? Because that last pick ended up being Colin Sexton. This rumor the Celtics are want him. I kind of just want him just for the fact that we would have all three of the Nets picks on the same team. I feel like that would be fun.
Hey, yo, hey, that's funny, man. But let's talk about this NBA draft. Then we could come back and talk about Desmond Bain because I know that did happen, and I didn't talk about him in this show. But NBA draft Wednesday. Um, a little what is it? A little less. I mean, a little over 48 hours from right now recording.
Hmm.
Obviously Cooper Flag's expected to go number one. I expect Dylan Harper to be the second pick since the Spurs the only team he worked out for. I
There
want
was rumors that his team don't even want him to go to San Antonio because of all the guards over there. But it's like, I mean, I feel like
I believe that. I fully believe that. I don't. They just probably don't think it's a good fit for him, man. They already got Fox. They already got Stephon Castle. Um,
Chris Paul not coming back. But
Devin Vassell is another guard. Damn, that is a. Hey yo, I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I feel them. I feel Dylan Harper if he feels that way. But I wanted to talk about the wild card of this draft. This seems to be Ace Bailey.
yep,
not working out for teams. Um,
wanting to go to an East Coast team.
one just having all these preferences. It's cool to have these preferences, but why is this stuff coming out? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think about Ace Bailey? First of all, I know you're not high on him as a prospect.
I
Like,
mean,
you think?
because I feel like some people aren't high on Ace Bailey, and some people have him completely out of their top 10 prospects. I still think he's a really good prospect, but I mean, I have him at 6 on my big board. I have Trey Johnson, Con Canoopel, Dylan Harper, Edgecombe, and Cooper Flag over him. But Ace is he's an interesting player. I mean, because the thing is, he has all the athleticism to be one of the very best defenders in the NBA. I truly believe that, especially with the way he could chase down and block shots. He could defend guys on the perimeter. But the thing is, he just didn't give that effort all the time at Rutgers. You could see that in just some of the games he played. Sometimes he just is flat-footed. Sometimes he's standing straight up. And if a team can get the most out of him, I think in a good way, he could be like a Michael Porter Jr. offensively, but at the same time give you Jaden McDaniels levels defense. And I feel like that's a star player in the NBA. I'm not the biggest fan of his handle. I feel like he's really loose with the ball as well. But he can shoot it. He can shoot it. He can shoot it over people. I will say that. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Ace Bailey is kind of seeming like to force himself to a certain position. I mean, some people. I mean, the Eastern Conference team where he could be the star. I feel like there's only two teams where that could be. I feel like that's the Wizards or Brooklyn. But
Hey, shout out my man Keys. I know he wouldn't be mad at the next guy Ace Bailey.
yeah,
Um,
I feel like those are the two teams he could really go to. I mean, who knows? The team could just take him. Like he don't have to. He don't have to go. Utah could take him at 5, and if he just chooses to sit out, he chooses to sit out. But Utah could literally take him at 5. We could all be speculating for nothing.
yeah, that's real. I wanted to highlight the Sixers. I feel like they're the most interesting team.
There where the draft starts at.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they're the most interesting team. Obviously, this is a team that has Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, as well as Paul George on
I'm
there.
sure they would love Ace Bailey, but it seems like he don't want to fit in over there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it. I feel it. It's like I do and I don't. I can't lie. Cause I feel like if you go to the Sixers and like they became good again, like obviously they would have to be healthy too. But it's like in a way you could be like the reason that they're like good again. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like you could be one of the reasons.
he would fit right into that 4 position. I feel
Yeah,
like
I feel like that's cool. Like,
even though this guy gets a lot of hate, I feel like it's something to learn from Paul George. You know.
oh yeah, no, Paul George, my guy. I'm not gonna shy away from that. Had a horrible season last year. I don't think he was fully healthy. But nevertheless, he wasn't good last year. Let's just call it what it is. But there's definitely stuff to be learned from Paul George because I think Paul George is one of the most skilled players of all time. Just pure skill, like just the stuff he could do. Obviously a wing with that type of handle, the smoothness that he has to his game. Um, he does some. He's super skilled. So there's definitely stuff that you can learn from him. But I
But
don't know, man. It draft
back
definitely
to
starts at 3 though.
I'm gonna say back to Philly. I feel like obviously they could go a bunch of different ways, but I feel like they're gonna go I should say one of 4 ways actually. One of 4 ways. I think the most likely option is VJ Edgecombe, the guard from Baylor, going there. I think I mean, he'll be right off the bench just with Jerry McCain, and that's a crazy backcourt duo. I mean, that means you will have Maxey, Quentin Grimes, McCain, and VJ Edgecombe. I feel like that's a little ridiculous,
Quentin
but
Grimes free agent this summer.
yeah, but he's restricted.
That's interesting. He's gonna get
I
paid.
believe he's restricted.
He gonna get
I don't
paid.
think he's unrestricted.
I think he's restricted too. He's gonna get paid though.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting little backcourt to have, and I think. Shoot, I mean, I think you got like 3 guys there that could be stars. So I feel like that's probably the most likely option they'll go. Because at the end of the day, in the NBA draft, I feel like you should draft talent over like fit, especially when you're that high in the draft. But I think they could go with either one of the Duke boys. And I mean, Con Canoopel, I feel like he would literally. I actually feel like he would fit in like a glove to that to the Sixers team. I mean, he's 6'7", he could handle it. He could shoot the cover off the ball, play some defense. Like that would fit right in. And then the wild card option I've seen thrown out, I've seen their link to the big man from Duke, Kamal Malawak.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean they've been fiending for a backup big. I mean Andre Drummond's been running backup big for them for like the last 2 years. And even before that, it's just like they never really had even though Embiid gets hurt so often, it's never really like a really like solidified backup. So I could understand the Malawak pick. And then obviously the fourth option is
My
Trey Young.
dog Paul Reed though. Paul
Oh
Reed
yeah,
was in there a
T-ball
little
Paul.
bit.
Well, he's in Detroit now, I want to say. He's
Yeah,
somewhere.
no, I'm just saying
Yeah,
shout out
Utah.
because he
I
was
want to.
with the Sixers. I'm just saying.
Um, and obviously the fourth option is trading out. I've seen mock trades of Cam Johnson going there for this pick. Um,
I don't know if I do that.
it was like Cam Johnson and whatever pick the Nets have. So that's Cam
Oh,
Johnson at 8
eight.
for 3.
Maybe I'll do that.
I would do it. I feel like that's a good team. If you're running in next year with Maxi, the starting lineup of Maxi Grimes, Paul George, Cam Johnson, Embiid, and off the bench you have McCain, whoever this pick ends up being. Possibly you bring Lonnie Walker back. Kelly Oubre is still on that team. That's a really good team. Hey, that team can win the East if they stay healthy, but I know that's a big if.
Yeah, don't tell me and Jalen that. Shout out my guy Jalen, man. Last question on the draft. I feel like I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about our local team, man. What do you see the Wizards doing, man? I'm hearing Jeremiah Fears, maybe.
I don't like Jeremiah
I'm hearing them
Fears.
praying Trey Johnson drops to them. I'm hearing some Derek Queen stuff. What the Wizards doing, man?
Um,
6 and 18. What the Wizards doing?
um, whoa, hold on. Kevin O'Connor said the Cavs offered Darius Garland as part of a potential deal for Kevin Durant.
Wow.
What in the world? So what was the rest of the How did that trade fall through? Anyway, but let's talk about the Wizards. I feel like the most likely option for the Wizards. I can't even say most likely. I feel like it's they have a couple options too. Obviously, if Ace Bailey falls to them, I feel like you should take him. I feel like he actually fits in. I'm saying he actually fits in like a glove to a lot of players, but he fits in like a glove. He could run the four next to Alex Sarr. That team defensively is nasty for the future. When you talk about Keyshawn George, Bilal Coulibaly, Ace Bailey, and Alex Sarr, that's a little ridiculous when you talk about our defensive front. I'm saying defensive front like this is a four-man front in football, but um, I think one of the centers, whether it's Derek Queen or Kamal Malawak, could go there because I was about to say Ace Bailey. Alex Sark could space it, so you can have him. You can run him and Malawak on the floor, and that's two 7'2" big defenders. I feel like Derek Queen, he
Hey,
can
that's
run the
kind of
floor next to
hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Sark, and it's a little offense and defense type thing. That's where I feel like they'll go at 6. And I understand the point guard hype. I just don't. I'm not the biggest Jeremiah Fears fan. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I understand like guards take he was a freshman last year and he's only 18 years old. So I obviously understand the hype for him, but he just kind of he has athleticism and he doesn't know how to control it. It's like if Russell Westbrook played all the time out of control, you know?
I'm still
But if
stuck.
he can
I'm still stuck on this Malawi. Oh man. Hey,
but
that would feed families, bro.
if Jeremiah Fears can hone it in, I could understand it. And at 18, it just depends on who's on the board. I really like Nolan Traore. He's a French guard. My comp for him, because you know I sent my big board out. My comp for him was if Tyus Jones was 3 inches taller, and I feel like that's a really good player, in my opinion. Um, at 18, I mean Jaeger Demon's gonna be there. It really depends on who's on the board. I can't really say right
I'm
now
seeing
definitively.
Nolan Traore mocked to the Suns. Hmm.
At 10,
I'm just looking on NBA draft.net, so don't.
that's a little high. That's my guy though.
I'm just telling
That's a
you what I'm
little high.
seeing. But
Speaking
yeah.
of can I just throw some sleepers out
Man,
there?
it sounds like it fits the need, kinda. If you don't want Devin Booker playing point guard.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Green is not no point guard. But just
Where they got the guard from Illinois, Conspiracy Jack Jonas going?
the NBA draft.net has um 9. Is that 9? No, 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 no. No, 13 to the Hawks.
I just feel like if him and Traore are on the board, you pick Jack and Jonas. That's just how I feel.
I can't say what I want to say, but I can't not for the podcast.
Can I throw some sleepers out there?
Hey, what? Hey, they got some. Yeah, you can. They got some. Yo, they saying that jump shot a 9 out of 10 on this. And then drive out. Let me
For who?
let me watch some film.
Wait, for who?
Jackie Onis. That's how you say it.
Jack Yakishonis.
Yakishonis.
But
Yeah.
his jump shot not 9 out of 10. I mean, okay, it was falling and then he got hurt, and then it never really came back around. But he does shoot free throws well, so that normally translates to the next level. I really like Noah Senge. I said sleepers and I named like a first round pick who's probably gonna
Don't
go.
name it lottery dudes.
Yeah, and
Potential lottery dudes.
I named a potential lottery cat. I really like Noah Senge from France.
I'm seeing him mocked to Portland on this site.
That'll be a good fit. I really like Rasheer Fleming. He's a junior from St. Joseph's.
I saw his name as well. 23rd to the Pelicans. He's mocked there.
I don't want him in New Orleans. I want him on a winning basketball team right now.
Yeah.
I want him on a winning basketball team right now. He's a junior, but he's still only 20, and I really like that. Um, yeah, yeah,
So he got some experience, and he's
yeah.
hold on. Hmm.
He doesn't really have like a big hole to his game. You might say like he's not the best shooter, but like I feel like you could work around that in the NBA. I really like Drake Powell. He's a like guard slash forward from North Carolina. A 3-and-D guy. My comp friend was Aaron Nesmith, former Celtic. And the last guy, I want to shout out a couple more guys. If Thomas Sorber, he's a center from Georgetown. If he didn't have this
Georgetown, yeah,
injury,
Sorber.
if he didn't have the foot injury, I feel like he would be a clear top 10 pick. I'm not gonna lie, but
Sorber can go, man.
the foot injury for a big man is kind of
Where
rough.
is he? We're trying to find him on this on mock draft.
He should definitely be a first round pick.
Oh, wow, interesting. I'm seeing 14 to the Spurs on this mock draft.
Hey, him and Wemby in the same front court, that would be a little nice. Um,
I'm actually
and the
kind of
last guy I
like
want to
know some of these dudes.
And the last guy I want to shout out is tournament darling Walter Clayton from
I
Florida.
was just I was gonna ask you if you didn't mention him. I was gonna ask where do you see him going on this mock draft? They have him mocked 25th to the Magic.
I was literally about to say I would love to see him in Orlando. I would love to see him in Orlando.
Hey, he get to stay in Florida if that's the case. Hmm. I'm actually it's funny. I'm looking at this mock draft. I'm like, wait, I know this guy. All right, like Liam McNeely. I see him. I know
Hey,
him.
shout out Nick Clifford too. I know he's probably I don't know where he's gonna go just because he's 23
I'm
years
seeing
old.
Lee Clifford to the Timberwolves.
That would be a great pick for them. He's like a Keldon Johnson type of player, but like imagine if Keldon Johnson in the NBA created his own shot.
Hmm.
Like so a really good rebounding guard slash forward who plays defense can knock down a three and create his own shot. I don't know if he'll create his own shot on the Timberwolves, but like I feel like he'll be a great pick for them.
Who the who the Mavericks have our pick?
I believe no,
Who has our pick?
no. It's not the Mavericks. It's the Nets. No,
Is
what?
it
I
the
just saw
Nets?
this.
The
It's the
Nets
Hawks. It's the Hawks. It's the Hawks. I knew it was the Eastern Conference.
22. Okay. I was gonna say who picking with the Lakers pick, man?
It's
And who,
funny
and who
because
the Lakers picking at 55? I'm seeing Jackson Robinson from Kentucky.
I'm not even gonna act like I know much about that cat. Pick every
Respect,
pick thir-
respectful.
every pick every pick from 13 on, except the Celtics pick at 28, is not with this original team.
What the Celtics about to do? I'm seeing Maxine Renaud.
Renaud, the center from Stanford. I wouldn't be mad at that. Um, like I said, it depends on
Oh,
who's on
it's
the board.
Luke Cornett.
Yeah, we need another center. We need another center because Al Horford's not getting any younger. Kristaps is more than likely gone. Luke Cornett's a free agent. We need another center. So I wouldn't be mad with any of the centers in that round. Like if it's Maxime Reynard or Ryan Kalkbrenner, who I actually compared to Luke Cornett, but whether it's one of them, I wouldn't be mad. Hey, I mean, if we could snag like even like a Danny Wolf if he ends up falling that far, I would really love that.
I saw Danny Wolf mock to, I'm sorry, 26 to Brooklyn.
Yeah. Celtics also got pick
Oh,
32.
that's that 7 foot guy from.
Yeah,
Holy,
from Michigan.
I know this. Yo, I know these cats, bro. Sorry guys, to my audience. I feel like I don't got knowledge, but I know these cats, bro. I just don't watch college basketball until conference tournament time.
And then
Respect.
in the second round, we had the 32nd pick. Right now, I'm seeing on Tankathon that's Drake Powell. I would love that. That's a guy I literally just talked about
I'm
a few
seeing this
shows
guy from
ago.
Serbia. I don't want to butcher his name, so I'm not going to.
What position?
Last name is Markovic. Power
I
forward.
don't know how to pronounce his first name either. I know exactly what you're talking about though.
Yeah, I'm not about to
I don't
butcher.
know how to pronounce his first name either. Um,
He looks like a serious cat from this
he
picture.
is. He is. I know some people who have him in their top 15. I haven't went that far.
He
I
must
haven't
got
went
the
that far.
chop. Oh, skilled and mobile, 6'11", stretch four.
Yeah. The thing is, that's gonna push him down boards. He's only 190 pounds, and he's about to turn 20.
Hey man, what's up with this Mike Curry draft party on Wednesday, bro? I'm with it, man. I'm kind of hype. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna.
Shout out Tyrese Proctor too from Duke. I feel like he's gonna
I saw him mocked to
I feel like he
39
I,
Raptors.
shoot, I wouldn't be mad if the Celtics picked him at 32.
I'm still mad at him, bro, from the Houston game. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, you think Andrew Nembhard's brother gonna do something in the NBA, Ryan from Gonzaga?
I saw him mocked at 59 to the Rockets.
I'm seeing him at 50 to the Knicks. 10 points and 10 assists in college ain't nothing to scoff
And
at.
the Pacers should draft this guy at 54 if he's there. Hey,
Hey,
Pacers, make it
hey,
happen.
the Pacers made a good move, bro. They made a good move. The one of the trades that happened, they traded the 23rd pick for their first back next year before the Haliburton injury. I know the Pelicans probably will be holding on to that and locking it away
Yeah,
if they saw the Haliburton injury.
and good for them. Good for them on being ahead of the curve and making that move, man. But before we get out of here, I want to talk Desmond Bain trade just really quickly. Especially I really want to talk about it because obviously we saw Tyrese Haliburton go down with an Achilles injury. And we already know about the others. Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum. I don't, and now Halliburton, I don't expect to see those guys play next year. So that changes a lot of things in the East. We talked about it off camera earlier, man. I think it's the Cavs to blow it, man.
Knicks and the Cavs are the top dogs now in the East.
And if I don't see the Knicks and the Cavs in the finals next year, they both teams better blow it up. Expedition.
Nah, you know, bro, on Twitter last night, I saw like 5 tweets talking about if Trey Young can't do this next year,
Hey yo,
we gotta trade him.
hey yo. But I really wanted to talk about it because the Magic obviously made a move, which I'm gonna be honest, people didn't like it. Some people did, some people didn't. I ended up understanding the move because um before Halliburton went down, the East still looked very wide open. And we saw with Paolo and Franz, they was going band for band with Tatum and Brown in the playoffs, but obviously, it just wasn't enough. Um, I still think they have to solve their floor general issues, and maybe they can do that. Maybe somehow. But Desmond Bane's a solid playmaker, but I've seen a couple games where he had double-digit assists last year.
Mhm.
So he has some capabilities of doing that, and maybe they view him as a guy who can do that. But obviously, you got a guy who's a really good two-way player, can shoot the three as well, and can guard your best player on all, your best player. So, I like it.
And he doesn't even need to guard their best player because they got Jalen Suggs.
And they have Jalen Suggs as well, who was out in that playoff. So, maybe the Magic are looking at like this is our chance, and I totally respect it now.
I
Um,
think they kind of view themselves similarly to the Celtics. Although the Celtics didn't even have to push this many picks in to get the team they got. They don't really have a Porzingis, so I guess I can't really touch on that. But I feel like they think Paolo's their Tatum, and I think if Paolo's everything we want him to be, I think he can be Tatum. I mean, even this year he averaged what 27 on 43% shooting with no spacing whatsoever around him. You got Franz, whose jump shot went away last year. That's kind of their Jalen Brown. Obviously not the same realm of athleticism, but that's their Jalen Brown. Their Drew Holiday is Jalen Suggs, and now here comes their Derek White now with Desmond Bain. And I think you could even argue Desmond Bain is well. I don't even think that's an argument. I think he's better than Derek White.
I
I
think
think
so.
you can argue that Jalen Suggs is better than Drew Holiday. So it's just like they need their pieces around the edges to be more successful. Like if the Jett Howard pick worked out, I feel like this team would be really good. I feel like they
Definitely
drafted. What has their draft history been like the last couple of years? Hold on, I could pull it up real quick.
Magic. So I mean, they hit on Paulo and Franz, and you could
Last
argue.
year they took Tristan de Silva. That's who they took. They need him to come around next year. He was a senior. He's a forward, 3-and-D type guy. Um, they took Anthony Black and Jett Howard in the same draft. That's a guy that needs to step up. And Black. We was talking
Oh yeah,
about
we talked about that. Yeah,
talked about.
Anthony Black needs to have.
They had some pretty good drafts. I mean, Paulo obviously and Caleb Houston. Then you had Jalen Suggs and Franz in the same draft, but you had the fifth and eighth pick, so you better hit on those.
Yeah, so hopefully, tomorrow. I mean, Wednesday's draft. They have pick 25. Maybe
Oh
that
my
whoever
god.
they select could be a contributor. Um.
Yo, they had some bad drafts. I'm over here. I just scrolled all the
Oh,
way
bro,
down to
absolutely.
2014.
Mario Hazonia, Jonathan Isaac, um,
I forgot all about Devin Marble. That's a cat.
Mo Bamba. Yeah.
Mo Bamba. They had the 35th pick, Melvin Frazier. And then they selected Justin Jackson, not the one from UNC, but the one from UMD.
Yeah.
In 2019, they had the 16th pick, select Chuma Okiki. In 2020, they had the 15th pick, selected Cole Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they turned it around a little bit. I can see the Magic winning the East. I'm not going. I don't. Obviously, I'm not going to predict anything right now. We're a full year out, but I can see the Magic winning the East
I
next
could
year.
definitely see. I want to look at odds before we go. Before we get up out of here. Let's
I
just do.
know the Knicks and Cavs are 1 and 2. They both got the same odds to win the championship next year. They're 2 and 3 behind the Thunder.
Let's just do it right now. Okay. The Orlando Magic have the third best odds to win the East next year at plus 430,
Who's fourth?
according to
Who's fifth after them?
FanDuel Sportsbook. After them is the Boston Celtics at plus 460.
That was crazy because my sister literally just asked me, "So with Tatum being out next year, are the Celtics going to be good?" I said, "They're going to be good. They're just not going to be great."
Not facts. Yeah.
But it truly depends on what this offseason looks like because I know they want to get under the second apron because, like I said, knock on wood, if we're over the second apron again next year, we could have some injuries, end up as like the 13th seed, and our pick moves to the back of the first round just because we were over the second apron for 2 straight years.
That's wild. That's wild. That's wild, man. But
Shout
on
out
that,
CJ McCollum and Grant Williams.
yeah. And they ruined a lot of things, man. But I mean, I guess you can take the good with the bad, I suppose, man. But we're gonna get up out of here, man. This is a hell of an episode, man. I really enjoyed doing this with you, man. But want to thank everybody for listening. Want to thank everybody for the continued love and support. I'm your host. I'm your guy, Mike Curry, and I'm signing out, man. Me and Bink got to get real creative, bro. So NBA season is over. We got WNBA. I know I can lead the way with boxing.
We can do position rankings for NFL.
We can definitely do that. Look, well, yeah, we'll do that, man, because we already did that in our group chat. So we could do that next episode, man. But I'm signing out. We're signing out, man. We're gone, man. Episode number 233 is done. Peace.